What's going on, y'all? It's J Smo Reviews here, back at it again with another video, man. Bring you guys today more of an open dialogue type of video, speaking on a topic. Usually it is always based around raps, right? I'm doing battle reviews, I'm doing something about battles, older battles, newer battles, a battler. But today we're going to talk about a matchup, right? But kind of a matchup falling apart behind the scenes and it making its way through the news this morning, right? Because Hitman Holla did go on Spaces and did have a big discussion about how him versus Mook, how there has been an effort to get it going, and from his side of the story, due to Mook, due to some things that he's done that have upset him, the battle's not going down, right? So it is a culture-shifting matchup. I've talked about it in a few of my videos that I wanted. I believe Mook's Book'em and Hitman's Book'em series where I pick the matchups for battlers. Like I pick the next 5 matchups I want for them, right? I had it high ranking for both, and it had noise when it was getting promo not too long ago. So I think it would have a significant effect on the culture. Hitman said himself, which we'll talk about a little bit later, that he was thinking about putting a big card with it, right? So we're talking high level battle rap that's kind of hanging in the balance there. And I want to give my opinions on this is all only from Hitman's perspective at the moment. Haven't heard from Mook, obviously it just happened, but we haven't heard from Mook since the whole arrest situation, right, in his crib. So, handling life stuff, whatever, but apparently all this has been going down, and I'm going to tell you why I personally kind of believe. I think at least a good amount of it is believable, but also to take it, I'm not going to say with a grain of salt. I respect Hitman's word. I wouldn't think that he'd go out there and just make up a bunch of nothing. Like I said, I even believe some of it just from hearing it, but it is only one man's side of the story as of right now. But first place to really start is the fact that apparently it started in the league phase, I call it, right? Where, a league picking up the battle. And, this is a humongous battle that traditionally would just go down on a big, humongous league. But as I probably talked about when I talked about these battles before, in other videos, it would, there's a couple leagues that are just off the table. One, URL. Hitman and URL's relationship very publicly hasn't been there for years. Every time they speak on each other, it doesn't seem like we're getting that much closer. Still would love to see it, man. I hope one day we get it, but we know that situation. And RBE, I think, would have, if you just asked me in general what would most likely be the matchup, at least before the retirement of ARP, I would say RBE. I believe back right before Mook and Big K, I think ARP had a tweet like, if Mook had a 4 battle deal and it was this, how would y'all feel? It was like Hollow, Big K, Mook, and it was one other one, I think it was. And obviously only you get I think Mook and Big K happens, right? But point is, it had been mentioned before, and it just seems, Hitman battling over at RBE has been turned into a Hall of Famer over there, but there's no RBE anymore. So that leaves you with Chrome having probably the resources, the money left that could book this battle. And apparently Chrome did try to pick up the battle. There was offers talked about. Hitman was ready to do it, of course, all from Hitman's side of the story, right? And that Mook's camp was given a number, and it didn't meet up to the number they wanted. I don't know if they countered-offered or they offered first, and how would we know? We're just hearing the story that there was talk on the business side, but apparently Mook's number was too high, and Remy was not willing to pay it, or I should just say Chrome 23 didn't move forward with the battle, which to me, a little bit of a red flag early, just if you know that, Chrome, if you go back to a situation like Hitman and Easy, they were paid very handsomely for that battle, man. I mean, they talked about it, I believe, a little bit, but very high paid battle that they were accommodated very well, and the results of that battle where the impact-wise and what the event was able to bring back in, I believe Remy talked about, was her most positive event yet, probably to this day. So it just goes to show that there's been, whether you feel about Chrome's quality, I think their events lack consistent quality a lot, especially throughout the undercard. But that card in particular, but just in general, they deal in high-level battles, and they've done it quite a few times now. So I have this kind of trust that Chrome is able to put these battles together, and if it gets priced out, it's not because Chrome can't go deep enough in their pockets unless it's an absurd number, which apparently, we didn't get the answer to that, and we're probably not gonna, but you would assume it would have to be if Hitman was already willing to do the battle and whatever Mook asked for took it off the table. So then the next phase was Hitman trying to throw the battle independently, which I've not seen Hitman, he has not thrown his own independent 3-round battle yet, but I've seen John Johns of the world, Geechees, Arsenals do it right, and I believe Hitman is of that level of battler, business savvy wise, where you can do it. I have to say that because there's a lot of battlers that they do the whole fuck the leagues. I'm going to do it independent. We could do this battle this way, and depending on the battler, I just know we're not getting that battle, right? So Hitman's someone that I believe, and it starts out with, if they're doing it that way, Mook wanted 50% of the pay-per-view, 50% of the stream. I think it's a good offer to come out with. Now, of course, advantageous for Mook because Hitman is the one fronting the money for the battle, right? Production, bandwidth, putting the stream together cost a lot of money in itself. Putting the card together, which he said would cost like $100K plus or something because he would want to get a real card. So we're talking about a possible super card here. My fucking heart breaks speaking on this shit when we get to the reason why it didn't happen or isn't happening apparently. So, right, all that, 50%, cool. So then the problem is they're trying to lock in and get it done. And then Mook's camp is like, but where is the battle dropping on YouTube? It would be the Bags and Bodies channel, because it's happened on Bags and Bodies. Typically, if it happens there, it drops there. That just makes sense. But apparently, they want a neutral site for the drop. I don't know about putting it on your channel, even though you're going to be battling on his league, his platform. And talking about building up like a YouTube page specifically for the battle to drop. It's just we're just doing anything now. Now we're just doing anything. I don't got to talk about how dumb that is if that's what was said. So now there's talk about not wanting to stream the YouTube drop. And this is after finding out, if you've been seeing, a lot of battles are getting demonetized on YouTube, at least for some channels. Easy said Trenches and all that, Chrome's good. But King of the Dot showing a bunch of their shit's getting demonetized. Granted, I think it's because of, language, you know what I'm saying? You can't be saying certain things on YouTube. We know what some of the old King of the Dot footage looks like. But that's a whole other thing. It's just funny because we're discussing a goddamn YouTube drop, the location, in a time that it's not even the money, right? This is a 6-figure battle. The money is not in the YouTube drop. But the real ender, the real parent that axed everything is that then the compromise to that is Mook wanting 50% of the footage, which was granted, they agreed on that. So now Mook has 50% of everything while not funding the event, which is a fucking great look for him. He can go up there and get smoked, and this is a financially great look for him. And then the man counters and wants 70% of the stream, I believe is what it is. Because that's where Hitman was like, I think it's 70% of pay-per-view is what he wanted. ARP is saying, let's get on the phone. Who knows? But he presented it as Mook countered with not just wanting 50-50. Now Mook wants 70%, which is fucking absurd. And I'm sure it's done because, as Mook said a million times, he thinks he's the bigger draw in the battle. He's just not. And it's not something to have a big, crazy realization. It's very proven. You look at Hitman's numbers, the way he's been doing better. I mean, ARP has basically said a million ways without damn near saying it, unless I think he did say it, but he lost money on Big K and Mook. That's been a big talking point. He lost money on Big K and Mook, but he made money with Hitman. Everyone makes money with Hitman. Commonly, every time he blesses someone's stage, they end up saying it's one of the most successful ventures that they've had. He's just a bigger draw. So to even go 50-50, I think that's respect to the God tier status. You talk 70-30, that's where ego's taking over. And that's where we're at with this battle at the moment, right? And the thing is, I believe it. I mean, we talk about money, the bag, and drama and ego. I mean, this goes back to SM2 when a battle rapper named Murder Mook talked about the $20K that he got paid to battle Iron Solomon, kind of dangled that in front of everyone's face and everywhere for the world to see. And ever since, we have gotten closer and closer to situations like this, where the details go out and the business is on Front Street. So Murder Mook right now is suffering from the consequences of a decision made 12 years ago by Murder Mook. And it's just tough, and I think the toughest part of it overall is that Hitman can pivot out of this and go to so many matchups. Him and Geechee to me is a matchup I'd look forward to more over this. Both big matches, but Hitman and Geechee to me is still that. If Nitty beats Lux or if Lux beats Nitty, I want to see either of them battle Hitman. Not that the winner of it goes against Hitman, but obviously Lux would kind of fill that same purpose of a Mook and Hitman battle, the big New York legend. God tier, Nitty, Swamp. He called out Swamp. Style-wise, they could kind of get at it. There's a million options for Hitman. I look for Mook. If he doesn't take this, I mean, Arsenal. It's not fantastic what the field has, and he could take a Nitty or something like that. But in a world where, I feel like the last two battles, losing to K clearly, and then losing to Twerk clearly, although it's a great battle, you're kind of seeing, if you're just to start battling now, really any top tier, because this is the battle for Mook. Like I said, there's a lot of still the battles for Hitman, if that makes sense. This is the battle for Mook. If he takes one of these others, it would just kind of go to show more the draw fading a little bit. So that's just kind of my full thoughts on it. If the story is presented the way it is, which is very believable from the actions that I've seen from Murder Mook, it's horrible that this is the way it's going down. It's very Hulk Hogan-ish for those that watch wrestling and know how the business of wrestling went down. But I'd love to hear your guys' opinions on it. Hopefully it still goes down, especially if there's 100K plus what on the undercard, those types of matchups. We need that for Battle Rap. It helps it grow. And they're still both top 5 draws. You know, with ego aside, whatever, both of them add a lot to the battle, and it would be historic if it went down. So please let me know, do you want to see it go down still? How do you feel? Who do you think the winner would be? I think it would be Hitman. Do you guys think it will be Mook? And do you believe everything surrounding it? But it's been J Smo Reviews again, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. Charlie Clip's known battle record coming next. I'm going to catch you on the next one, man. Peace.